That was quite something you'd have enjoyed that today.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Sorry.
Yeah. And it's the fight to stay in there, isn't it? This team has got some real resilience.
Yeah, 100%. I think from previous games as well, like that sums it up. It's in our DNA for the full 80 minutes. Boys on the bench as well. I think that's in our DNA, and we'll keep fighting until the end.
You must have felt happy going onto the pitch, seeing the captain with the blue hat coming back as well.
100%. Yeah, it was great seeing Tips come back.
Yeah.
Just drives that belief back into us. So it was great for him to get back out there today.
And you could be as big a nuisance as he can. He's teaching you some bad or good habits, isn't he?
No, yeah, he's brilliant. Just try to pick his brains as much as we can. And team performance again was brilliant.
But you see him coming back and Cuthbert coming back and some of the older fellas standing up. But to see young Dan Edwards step up and do, to take that decision on shows that some of these youngsters are really making a statement.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we've seen Dan in the pocket, backing him all day. So the fact that he could nail that then, it was brilliant.
Yeah. The good thing about that, sorry Rob, the good thing about that whole episode really was the fact that he initiated the whole thing. We obviously have a drop goal routine for exactly those moments, but it's one thing having it and the other thing's doing it. There's a few little forwards nearly got in the way. we'll be having a little conversation about them. But ultimately, the quarterback is the quarterback, and to have the self-belief and also the skill execution to do it. I came down the steps with Owen Williams, and he, and obviously we're very mutually supportive, and he basically went, "Man, let some kick that off slow ball," and in the nature of the moment. So that's really interesting because it tells me, with the leadership and what we're trying to, not just the young players, but them being able to, in an environment they feel they can step up, and they do step up. This young man being a similar, not always as glamorous, but you talk about the breakdown, but throwing into lineouts, in pressure lineouts, in the red zone, in pressure moments, those things are really, really important. So I'm really pleased for them and for the team and for all the coaching that they've had, that they feel that they can, bring up very important moments.
So you're quite right. You talk about the pressure on the kicker for that to make the decision and drop it. But throwing into that line out must have been a bit nerve-wracking too.
Especially the call we made.
Yes.
It was back a drill every time. We know we're calm in those situations, bring ourselves back down right to process, and we just nailed it.
And that was probably your best midfield incursion of the game, wasn't it? It was direct, it was hard, it was deep.
I think that, we know when you play in Irish Providence, they're very physically right, especially from a backline point of view. So momentum's very hard to come by, and you can find it in different ways. We found it through set piece pressure, and without making passes. So the scrum went exceptionally, especially early on, and to be able to build pressure off set piece is really important. And the other bit is that probably will get lost in translation because, and quite rightly so, is we had 3 cheaters boys turn up this week. That 2 of them were involved on 3 training sessions, and they've, that's a massive ask for anybody. So that the environment that we've got, the effort the boys bring, it wasn't by far our cleanest performance, but it looks like we carried on certainly from a mindset point of view after the Lions in Europe. And that's good, and I never thought I'd be sitting here going after 13 weeks, and then that we looked like we needed a game. So, but we did, and we found a way, and the boys should take massive credit for that.
Yeah. You're 5 wins in a row. You're up to 7. Given everything you've had to face in the last month, that's some achievement.
Yeah, well, it's nice. Look, the boys take the credit. The coaches, the belief, and the beauty of working with young players is that they don't know any different. And that's that blind faith and that effort, if they're coached well and developed well, brings around performances like that. And you're not always going to be perfect, but you move on very quickly because these guys haven't got the scar tissue. They haven't got, what they lack in experience and knowledge, they make up for in different ways. And you've heard me talk about that before. And as they transition further down the line, they'll be smarter, they'll be cleverer, they'll be more skilled probably. And if they can maintain their hunger and desire, they become very special players.
So that was very much Dan's call from start to finish of that sequence of play.
Yeah, we've obviously got it in the playbook, from that point of view for exactly those moments. It's, you probably take that shot on 78 minutes because basically you're going to get the ball back because it's all or nothing, right? so he's still got things to learn. But ultimately, no, I joke. The bottom line, we talk a lot, and one of our buzz phrases is, just open up. We talk about going all in all the time. We talk about it, all in. We're going all in, and he went all in, and that's a great example of that.
Yeah. What about his general performance?
Yeah, I think that by his standards, I think he was, he felt his way in a little bit. I thought his game, he varied his game, which was nice around kick and run and bits and pieces. And that's always the hardest thing, is how you manage the halfway line. But having Jack around at the back, and one of the reasons for having 2 10s on the pitch is to share the love there. But he's developing into a fine player, and will continue to improve. Owen Williams supports him from a point of view. Richard Fussell and those guys for coaching. He's got good people around him. But when I saw him in pre-season, he made an impact, just like Lou, just like a number of these youngsters. We've almost got, it sounds bizarre, we've got the first lot through, your Morgan Morrises and your Jack, your Dowie Lakes and your Jack Morgans and those, but they're through, they're almost right. What's the next lot? And part of Lou's development is being in front of you guys. So we develop the people, develop the understanding, and the core of the Ospreys squad then grows.
Great try. Sorry,
Go on.
Great try at the pivotal moment.
Yeah, again, you've got to take your chances, and the most impressive thing about that was, yes, we turned extreme defence into extreme attack, but if you look back there's 4 black shirts within 15, 20 metres of the ball and only 2 white ones, and that tells, I know it's easy when you're transitioning, but if you didn't care about that moment and the people that are on there, you don't follow that, and those things are pivotal.
Maybe Dan needs slightly longer legs so he doesn't trip over. Your heart must have come into your mouth at that moment.
Yeah, I think our S&C are capable of quite a lot, but growing people is quite difficult. But no, of course, look, boys are already giving, he needs some speed work and bits and pieces. But, as you saw against the Scarlets, when it mattered, he got across. And the great thing is, he didn't die with the ball, did he?
No. A few other things, the scrum, your 2 flankers, the pincer movement, and then how you manage the sin bins, because that was quite important, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about the sin bins themselves, because there's certainly going to be some discussion with people around some of that. So we'll leave that there. But again, experience comes into it. You rehearse those things, but it's like getting one back on. If we had an early scrum, we would probably substitute some weight. This is like contingency planning, right? Mm-hmm. And what you see happens. We did manage it on outcome, but again, you practice this stuff. It's all practice.
So Lewis, you come up against a World Cup winner in Kitsap. I mean, what was that like? Seeing the pressure that came through. I hope Ben Warren did quite well against you.
Did. Yeah, no, it's great. I think nothing changes for us from our point of view. We know what we need to do, and we just back ourselves every time.
Yeah. Did he put any extra pressure in on that front row or not?
You're strong. Yeah, you were strong. But we knew that was coming. So we just stick to.
There's a learning point here. This is the point where you're very respectful and you say nothing, because you'll be playing against him at some point. So there's a learning point.
So World Cup winners aren't really up to that. Is that what we say?
And this one you've got to watch.
Nice to see Cuthbert back out there.
Yeah, great. And look, I mean, to be fair, early on in the week, he's been ill this week, and he only did one, so he's been off for a long time, and he's done 30 minutes of training, and he came up with some pivotal moments, winning the ball back, compared to a bit of experience at key times. And look, for where we are as a group, you think you've been through the worst, and then Dom Morris, for example, has to pull out because of a hamstring, which is terrible for him, and you want to try and stay healthy, and everyone knows the 20 plus injuries, how difficult it's been, but we'll just keep going. We just have to keep going. We're not going to use an excuse. You guys know the facts. We'll just keep going. And whoever's on that pitch, it comes with an expectation, a standard, an effort, and we'll talk about that a lot, and these boys are delivering that. The good thing for us is, as you say, Cuthbert back, Tips back. We thought Don was back, but Toby Fricker back. We're starting to get a little bit back. The next game, Rhys Davis, Morgan Morris, Owen Williams. There's the next 3 coming around the corner, so you don't have to ask me that question in 10 days' time. I know you've already noted that. And then beyond that, then you get Hugh Sutton, Dowie Lake, etc., etc. So if we can, and we've talked about momentum and staying in the fight. If we can stay in there, we're hopeful, touch wood, that our profile will improve in relation to injuries. and then you never know, we might have some selection dilemmas.
You're giving yourself a platform for a real crack at this top 8 now.
Look, there can only be. We're not going to get carried away, but as I said, I worry about the mindset and the nuts and bolts and bits and pieces, and what we're seeing is, why not? Why not? Instead of going why not? Because if these are going to give these youngsters and give me energy as an old man, then I've got to back what they believe. They believe in it, so I've got to believe in it.
It's very old man, isn't it?
Not quite as old as you.
Can I ask one final thing? I mean, we saw Cardiff come up just short again, but they've had to do exactly the same thing as you've done with this. And the fact that these young lads from the 20s last year are being catapulted, if you like, ahead of where they go, maybe 2, 3, 4 appearances more than they would have had, that's surely going to make life so much better moving forward for all of us.
I agree. I 100% agree. And look, we've had meetings, and I think there's definitely greater understanding and collaboration around that. And we don't know how it's all going to pan out because it's new for everybody, right? But we've got to all come with a can-do attitude and a sensible attitude around it. I think as you said, by default, in a way, we're further down the line quicker, and that can only be good for a long time. But there is just a little safety net that I think is important, which is we want to be deliberate, not necessarily reactive. So, for example, the amount people play successive games, dead them out. You still need a young player. A young player needs to have time to recover mentally, grow physically, improve his skills. We talk about improve the player, improve the team. You've got to give growth time to these sort of players. So, yes, I'm all for getting. That I'll go all in and give these boys. But I do want to protect them a little bit, because sometimes we want to make deliberate choices, not necessity choices all the time. So if we can strike that balance and stay healthy, that allows us to do that.
So 9 out of 10 on the field and about 8 out of 10 in here.
Good. Well, there you go. That's progress.